So what I actually have two wheels. I have one that is done in paint, which is what most of us in class have. And then I have one that I did just with markers, color pencils, for whoever was able to do it that way. So the main thing we're gonna do is we're gonna clean up the wheel. We're gonna do a little bit of labeling and put some complimentary arrows in the middle section, and that'll be it. So I'll start off with this one, which this is a wheel that is done in markers and color pencils. And like I said, I'm gonna go through this real quick and then I'll post this on Google Classroom, and that way you guys can label what it is that we were labeling. But so for the most part, we're gonna label first the colors. So far we have red, blue, yellow, your primaries. We're gonna go ahead and do the rest of them. My orange, my purple, green, and then my secondaries. Yellow, green, blue, green, yellow, orange. And for all this labeling, you know, probably the best thing to do is use markers for them. In a minute, for us that use paint, we're gonna use paint to do our nice divisions and clean up the wheel a little bit. But for right now, all the labeling that's done outside the wheel, you can use markers, and I think that should make it much easier. Red, violet, and blue, violet. First thing. Now I'm gonna start at the top and work my way down up here. I'm just gonna put what it is. It is a nice color wheel. Color wheel. And then at the bottom, I'm gonna do a couple of things. First, I'm just gonna label my primary and my secondary colors. I think I'm gonna do that in a colored marker. So just to remember that our primary equals red, blue, and yellow. And I'll do one for secondary colors. Secondary equals purple, green, and orange. And then the last thing I'm gonna put there at the bottom is I'm gonna write a thing that says complementary equals colors across from each other. And I'll do that in, let's go purple. Complements. Equal colors across from each other. And that I'm gonna draw some arrows that show what the complements are. So I'll draw myself a little double-ended arrow to remind me that that's what that means. And now that I know that, I'm gonna use the same color. I'm gonna use purple. All you're gonna do is, you know, kind of, if you still have the lines that show the intersection, you can kind of use that center point. And I'm not gonna use a ruler or anything. I'm just gonna kind of hand draw these. You have one that's gonna go from red to green. So one line from red to green. You're gonna have one that goes from blue to orange. And then you'll have one that goes from purple to yellow. And those are the ones we're going to draw. We're not going to worry about drawing all the others. It'll get quite busy and messy in there. But pretty much you know that any colors opposite each other, even the ones we did not draw, like the intermediate, the tertiary colors, those are complements also, as long as they're across from each other. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to clean up the wheel. And what I mean by cleaning up, especially for us that painted, we might have kind of gone outside the lines a little bit. So here's what you can do. For the one that I did in marker and color pencil, I'm going to use a Sharpie, or if you guys have a marker, you can use a marker. And I already started doing this. I kind of did the inside circle. And what I'm going to do is just go in here and just draw my division lines and try to make it look nice and clean and presentable. So that's what I'm going to do with this, okay? Now, for you guys that painted, it might be a little bit better if you finished it off this part with paint also. So what I did is I put some small cups on the counter over there. I also put some small liner brushes on the towel. And you can kind of go grab a cup, go grab a brush, and hopefully with these small brushes you'll be able to make some nice, clean, thin lines. So for the most part, I'm dipping my brush in the paint, cleaning it off a little bit on the side. And you can kind of see, you know, there were some parts that I missed. There were some parts where I kind of went past the line, or whatever the case may be. And just like with the marker, I'm going to go in here and try to clean this up a little bit. And the small brushes that you use will really be good for this, because they'll give you a nice thin line, not too thick, but it will clean it up. And that's what you're going to do, okay? So what I will do is, like I said, I just wanted to make this video to show you what to do. But I'm going to continue finishing these, and then I will post a picture of what the finished product looks like when I am done, okay? But that's what we're going to work on for the next couple of minutes. Label your wheel, clean it up by outlining, and that'll be it as far as your color wheel goes. All right, so I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you guys 15 minutes. 15 minutes, and then I'll come back with the next instructions for incorporation painting.